Okay, YouTube, how's it going? I'm pretty sure you can guess what this gizmo right here is. So let's take a little further look at it. You can see there's grass clippings on there. We got a 24-volt scooter motor off that electric scooter that I put a gas motor on, and then the clutch went to crap on it, and let's just say that project ended with a sad ending and it's done now. But we took the scooter motor and put it on a homemade wooden frame, and I'll go into that in a minute. But we have two garden tractor batteries wired in series. And to wire a battery in series, I got 24 volts coming out of these two batteries right now, because this is a 24-volt motor. So what I did is you run your first battery's positive to your second battery's negative, and then you got a positive on this battery right here, and that's your positive wire, and you got a negative on this battery, which is your negative wire. So it's a little confusing looking just the way it's laying here. If both these batteries were the same posts, this would be positive and this would be negative, but since they're opposite posts, there's two negatives right here. But anyway, you have a battery here and a battery here. You put the positive from the battery on the right to the negative on the battery on the left, and then the negative on the battery on the right is your ground wire, and the battery on the left positive is your positive wire. So there's 24 volts between these two wires here. And then they just, the ground goes into the ground of the motor, and the positive one goes into this forward dash piece, and then there's a toggle. This is the light switch for a plow truck. Try to read that so you can read it. Right there. Plow lights and vehicle lights. That's my switch. So, fire this baby up, you just like that. Come on, turn it back on. Turn it back off. You can see it's actually blowing the leaves around. I don't know if you can see that, but it does in fact work. Let's take a look underneath once that blade stops turning. I'm gonna get, I forget what they call, lag bolts, I think. Lag bolts, whatever, bolts that they like have the round thing on the top and then the square thing that goes in the wood and it's threads. Because I just have screws holding the wheels on with washers, and they're not very good, but that was just temporary. I got the deck pretty level, but when I put the real bolts in to hold the wheels on, I'll go all true level with it. So you can see it's still turning, but I can stop it with my hand now. Mini 13-inch, I think it's a lawnmower blade or an edger blade or something, but you can see it's pretty sharp. I welded the blade onto the motor. There's weeds wrapped in there, but I found a spacer that was the same size as the shaft on the motor and the same size as the blade, the hole in the blade, so it spins really even. And you can see I got a good gap there, a good gap there, a good gap there, and a little bit closer gap there, but it's all cool. I'm going to lop those screws off hanging down there. What I mean by just putting the wheels on with screws is they're pretty much just screws and washers. So we tip it back down, and handle is a wooden dowel with something screwed on the top here. Just grab it, and it doesn't push super easy, but it pushes easier than a regular push mower. The reason it pushes harder right now is because those wheels are running on crap. They're like running on threads and stuff. You can see they're not even either. So, alright. To attach the motor, I welded gas tank strap for a lawn tractor onto the motor. You can see my welds aren't the greatest because I was welding a little bit and then pouring water on it to not burn the windings in the motor up with the welder. But it's holding the motor on there really good, so I'm pleased with that. And then it runs really smooth too. pretty much running. It's just barely enough to make these pine needles on here wiggle around if you see that. Strappy material to hold the batteries on there. They're as tight as can be. They couldn't be broken at all. So I'm gonna get real bolts for it and wait for summer when there's actually grass. Oh, I was also gonna maybe look at getting some solar panels for the roof of the shed that this is stored in. But before I do that, I'd rather, you know, wait for grass to come and actually use it a little first. The batteries are pretty low right now. It bogs down quite a bit in the grass. I don't have my 24-volt charger with me yet, but it's at a job site with my dad, so once I get that back, I'll charge it up. I could charge them at 12-volt one at a time, but I'd rather just, there's no point anyway. There's not any grass to mow. But like I said, I'd like to get solar panels for the shed. Those things are expensive. But if I could get a couple solar panels for the shed, I'd put them on the roof of the shed, and then have cords hanging in down that I can plug into the batteries. And then I only mow like once every week or 2 weeks, so, and I only need the push mower to go around the trees. I run a John Deere 318 with a rebuilt Performer Onan engine in it to do the main grass mowing, but I'd like to have something like this, you know, cordless, light, easy to start to go around the trees. But anyway, catch you later.